Welcome to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the #1 podcast and resource for Black entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful, sustainable businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the worldwide Black community by building and supporting Black-owned businesses. If you're currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, you're invited to join us each and every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family and get ready to elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 401. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. Today's show topic is, how much money are you leaving on the table? 9 questions to ask yourself. How much money are you leaving on the table? 9 questions to ask yourself. Now, before we get into today's subject matter, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome all first-time listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. Please stick around until the end of today's broadcast, and I'll share all my social media contact information and my resource links, such as the link to my new book, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. Also, 2 platforms I've created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide Black community, BeSmartByBlack.com and HireBlackFreelancers.com. Also, I want to mention the new rebranded, rebooted BEB Academy. Make sure you go to BEBacademy.com and enroll. You get 3 days free access. There's all types of learning content in the academy, be it master classes, online courses, training, and a ton of other resources. You get 3 days free access. Once again, BEBacademy.com. If you guys have listened to the show for any period of time, you know that I'm big on e-commerce. And today's episode is actually brought to you by FreshIdeasHub.com. That's FreshIdeasHub.com. So if you're looking to start a business online and build a real asset, you need to look into affiliate marketing, but affiliate marketing done right. Here's an important stat. Right now, 86% of the brands on the internet, and I'm talking multi-million-dollar companies, have an affiliate program. So what does that mean? It means that there's more opportunity for you to make money right now than ever before by partnering with these brands on the internet. Now, the way to make this work is by using the connector model, which allows users to align and collaborate with top companies and brands who already have an established product, and then find the people who are genuinely interested in those products in exchange for a commission, which usually starts at 50% and can go upwards of 90% of the sale. Now, this model is one of the easiest online because you don't need to create a product. There's no need for an office, no overhead or inventory, and no customer service. Visit FreshIdeasHub.com to learn how you can become an independent digital entrepreneur and build your online presence and never have to depend on any product, company, or opportunity. So make sure you go to FreshIdeasHub.com. FreshIdeasHub.com. Before we jump into today's topic, guys, I have a real big announcement that I'm super excited about. We're going to be doing our first live event. That's right, guys. We're going to be doing Black Entrepreneur Blueprint live in LA. That's live in LA on Saturday, April 9th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And we're going to be interviewing Mr. Melvin Graham, who's the producer of a new upcoming documentary on Amazon Prime called Black Business LA. And we're going to talk to Melvin about his film. We're also going to talk about entrepreneurship and the importance of Black-owned businesses. Now, this is a free event, and it's not just going to be me doing the interview with Melvin. We're going to do a Q&A after the interview. You can ask myself questions, Melvin questions, anything about entrepreneurship, his journey, my journey, anything you want to ask about. In addition to the Q&A, we're going to have a meet and greet after the Q&A, and we're going to have beer, wine, alcohol, food, and we'll be able to chop it up and meet and greet the BEB family. It's going to be a super exciting event. It's going to be very informative, and I'm looking forward to seeing all my BEB family members out in LA on Saturday, April 9th from 1 to 4 p.m. So make sure you go to beblive.com, beblive.com to register. Once again, it's free, but we do need to get a head count so we don't overbook the location. So we're actually going to be at Oh My Ribs Entertainment, which is a small theater in West Hollywood, 6468 Santa Monica Boulevard in LA 90038. So go to beblive.com. We already got people already booked and we don't have a lot of seats. So make sure you come out. I'm looking forward to seeing the BEB family live and in effect in LA Saturday, April 9th. This is going to be the first of several BEB live events, and we're going to have a great time, guys. Looking forward to seeing you there. beblive.com to register. All right, let's jump into today's subject matter. How much money are you leaving on the table? 9 questions to ask yourself. So as entrepreneurs, we all know it's a tough road, man. It's nothing simple. And so many business owners are struggling because they don't know the key questions to ask themselves. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a new entrepreneur, prospective entrepreneur, or an existing entrepreneur. This is a great episode for you because you don't want to leave money on the table. Now, so what we're going to talk about is 9 questions you need to ask yourself. All right. Question number 1. What are my gross product margins? I didn't say profit margins, but your gross product margins. And it's very similar, but your product margins are, for example, if your product sells for $50 and it costs you $10 to make or create or buy, whatever, that means you'll make $40. Okay, so your gross margin is 400%. You spent $10 to create the product or service and you're selling it for $40, which is a 400% markup, right? So that means you have $40, guys, listen to this, used to market your product. And this is something that I talk about when I do my scaling online course and training. What are my gross product margins? Many times our products aren't priced correctly and it doesn't give us enough profitability and we're leaving money on the table. I always ask my coaching students, how much money do you have to advertise one of your products or services? Okay, and we're breaking it down into unit factors. So for example, like I just said, you sell your product for $50, it costs you $10. That means you have $40 used, or you can use up to $40 to market your product or service. Now, if it takes you $20 to get a sale and convert on that product, that means that you made $20. You used 20 out of the 40 margin that you had. If it costs you $30 to get a sale, that means you only made $10 because it costs $30 and you're only profiting $40. So the question is, what are your gross product margins? And one of the reasons that we're leaving money on the table and we're not profitable is because a lot of times the products or services that we're selling, they don't have the margin that's going to equate to building $1 million business or a high six-figure business. So if you're selling $5 items that cost you $2 or $1.50 or whatever, you're going to have to sell a heck of a lot of those units in order to scale that business. So what are your gross product margins? And you need to look at every product or service that you sell and find out what are those gross product margins. So for example, I used a physical product as an example, but a digital product. If you're selling an online course, right? You create the course one time. It's going to take you some time and some energy to do that. But if you're selling a course for $297, you've already created it. So now your profit margin, your gross margin is it didn't cost you anything after you created it one time, correct? So now you have $297 to play with to create a sale. If you spend $100 to get one sale, that means you still made $197. And so you have to really look at the price of your product or service that you're selling, and also what is the gross product margin, of that product that you're selling or service. That's key. the higher the margin, or the more money that you make in dollars, the more money that you can spend advertising or marketing to convert that product or service into a sale. And that's a big thing. So, I'll tell you guys ad nauseum with one of my flat iron brands. I'm not going to get into the whole story. One of my high-end flat iron brands landed from China, cost me $10.78. I sell that same flat iron online, my own platform and other platforms for $129. All right, so I got $129 retail minus $10.78 or $11. So I got what? $118 that I have to play with. So even if I spent $100 to market that product and get a conversion, I still made $18. Obviously, that's not good. You don't want to do that. But the higher the gross product margins are, the dollars that you have to spend to market that product or service, the better. Now, we'll talk about having a built-in lead generation system and things of that nature that are also going to help you become more profitable and make sure that you take all the money off the table and don't leave money on the table. So question number one, what are your gross product margins? Okay. Question number two, how much money do I have to spend on marketing? And that's what we just broke down. Remember, in that initial example, product retail for $50, it cost me $10. So that means I have $40. You have to break that down. How much money do I have to spend on marketing? So once again, I'm just going to reiterate. It's very similar to question number one, but I'm just going to reiterate. I don't care about the percentage amount. You know, somebody could say, oh yeah, I got a 100% margin that I can use for marketing. But if that 100% margin equates to $2, meaning, you know, you're doubling your money, $2 is not a lot to market with. So you want to have a decent amount of money per unit to market with. How much money do you have to spend on marketing to create a conversion, to get a sale? So the more money you have to spend, once again, my example, I'm selling a flat iron $129. It cost me $10.78, landed from my manufacturer. I got a ton of money. I can outspend all types of different flat iron companies because I had the money. So for example, when I'm looking at keywords on Amazon, right? Some of my keywords were professional flat iron, ceramic flat iron, hair flat iron. I was bidding $10 a keyword, meaning that for somebody that goes into Amazon and they type in professional flat iron or ceramic flat iron, I'm bidding $10 a keyword, so my listing will come up first. Somebody else who's selling a ceramic flat iron, ceramic plates, professional flat iron, and their cost is $10 and they're selling it for $30, they only got $20 that they can play with. Where I have $118 that I can market with. And so that's the big difference. If you can control the keywords, and this is just on Amazon or even on Google, if you have the money to spend to get customers, then you're going to be profitable. You got to have enough money though. It can't be killing you. So my competitors that, you know, it costs them $10, they're spending $10 on a keyword and then it's selling for $30, that means their profit on there is only $10, right? So for me, if I spend $10 on a keyword, I'm still making $108. So that's the big difference, being able to have the money to spend on your marketing. Question number two, how much money do you have to spend on your marketing? And I'm talking about per unit. Question number three, how can I reduce my marketing expenses to help increase profitability and not leave money on the table? How can I reduce my marketing expenses to help increase profitability? Now, I always talk about systems, right? So you want to create a marketing system that includes two things, a lead generation system and a fulfillment system. I'm going to say it again. a lead generation system, and a fulfillment system. These are the first two systems you need to create in your business. Okay, why? Because they generate revenues. No revenues means you're not in business. All right. So check out episode number 397 as a reference. And it's titled 3 Quick and Easy Ways to Generate Leads for Any Business. And make sure you get the show notes, because all of the links and everything I'm talking about are here. So go to the website, blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com. On the bottom of a page, it'll say newsletter or join us. Every Monday morning and Thursday morning at 9 a.m., the newsletter comes out with the show notes. So if you're driving in the car, you're working out, you're jogging, running, lifting weights, and you can't write down the show notes, make sure you go to blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com and subscribe to the newsletter. So once again, guys, how do I reduce my marketing expenses to help increase profitability? Number 3, and you need to create a marketing system that includes a lead generation system and a fulfillment system. How do you fulfill your sales? If it's a digital product, that's pretty simple. It could be a digital download. If it's a physical product, you can ship it out, or you can get a fulfillment or a shipping company to ship out your products. Today, we're talking about how much money are you leaving on the table? 9 questions to ask yourself. Question number 4, am I pricing my product or service correctly? Am I pricing my product or service correctly? Now, many times we tend to underprice our product or service. Okay. And in essence, what we're doing is we're leaving money on the table because we're not getting the highest price for your product or service. And I get it, guys. It's a balancing act. All right. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. So it has to be balanced. Okay. So are you pricing your product or service correctly? Now, the way that you do that, the way that you price correctly, is everything has to be aligned. And I talked about this in several episodes. So the way you price your product or service correctly is by aligning your positioning, your product perception, and your pricing. Okay, so you can have a high-end product, mid-level product, or low-end product or service. It depends, whatever you're selling. Okay, but how do you position that product? So with my flat iron, it's a high-end product. My website is high-end. My packaging is high-end. My verbiage is high-end. My videos are high-end. Everything screams high-end professional salon grade tool. Now, once again, my manufacturer manufactures for other flat iron companies too. And literally the same flat iron, one of the same flat irons that I'm selling, but obviously it's under my logo, my brand, and my packaging. I've seen other people sell it, once again, for $30. I'm selling the same exact product for $129. And I'm able to get that price because everything is aligned. It's positioned as a high-end professional salon tool. The perception that it has with the website, the packaging, everything meets or exceeds that. Okay. And also the pricing. So if you went to a store and you saw a Rolex in a jewelry store for $500, you'd be like, hold on, something's wrong. The product and the perception are not matching the pricing. And that's why nobody's going to buy that $500 Rolex, because they won't believe that it's real. So everything needs to be aligned. And on the converse, if you go into a jewelry store and you see a Timex that's selling for $25,000, the product, the perception, and the pricing are not aligned. You know, ain't nobody paying 25 grand for a Timex watch. And so that's what you need to focus on. Am I pricing my product or service correctly? Now, I actually did an episode on this too. Episode number 341, how to make more money in your business, product perception, pricing, and profit. Episode 341. Once again, the link is in the show notes. So make sure you sign up for the newsletter. And what we're talking about today, guys, is how much money are you leaving on the table? 9 questions you need to ask yourself, and you need to have the answers to these 9 questions. All right. Number 5, do I have a platform? Yeah, guys, I'm talking about it again. And I'm going to talk about platforms ad nauseum. Get used to it. Because when you have a platform, your opportunity to generate revenues and become profitable and not leave money on the table is exponentially increased. Okay? Having a platform allows you to communicate with your audience when you want to communicate with them based on however you want to communicate with them. Now, I'm going to say this for people who've never heard me say this before. A true platform is something that you control. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever else you're on social media, you don't control that. You want to leverage it, but you don't control it. I've told you guys horror stories of people that built their business on Instagram or Twitter, and then they got shut down. Now their business is going kaput, whatever it is, right? So my platform, my major platform is podcasting. I control that. Nobody can shut that down. Email is a platform, okay? Video is a platform. Yeah, YouTube, you don't control that. But I always recommend if you have videos on YouTube, and that's a primary way to communicate, those videos need to be on your website too. God forbid your YouTube channel gets shut down. So do you have a platform? So let's talk about the importance of the type of platform that you use to communicate with your audience. Now, remember, there's only 3 types of media. There's owned media, earned media, and paid media. And I'm going to circle back and tie this all together in a second. So owned media, right? That's the best type of media. That's media that you own that doesn't cost you anything after you get it. An email database, a podcast, it could be a text database. Okay. You own that. Nobody else can control it or shut that down. That's called owned media, right? The other type of media is called earned media. Earned media is media that's shared. So if Black Enterprise did an article on you about your company or your business, you didn't pay for it. That's earned media. You don't control that, but it's earned media. Somebody wrote a blog about your business or your product. That's earned media. That's free also. And the last one is paid media. That's what most of us are doing right now. We're paying, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, to boost or promote our products or services or our articles, whatever we're doing. In order not to leave money on the table, you need to focus on owned media. So when you build the platform, guess what? You create that owned media. So that owned media doesn't cost you anything after you've created it. So as you build your database, your email database up, now instead of have to pay to run ads, okay, the cost to sell a product or service, now you don't have that because you have owned media. I always relate this to Amazon and Prime Day. Amazon owns that media. They own the database. So when they want to generate revenues, they send out emails to their audience about Amazon Prime Days, and they make money. And so the way that you're not spending more money, but you're grabbing all the money off the table is now instead of spending for advertising with paid media, you've created your platform that's going to allow you to sell without spending money via email, via text, be it your podcast, be it whatever. So these are ways, guys, that you're not leaving money on the table. And building a platform, to me, is one of the best ways to generate multiple streams of income. And I'm not even going to get into that because that's a whole nother episode. But I'm telling you, building your platform. And with that, for example, with Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast is my platform. And so anytime the BEB family wants a new product or service or whatever, I'm able to communicate with owned media. It doesn't cost me anything to communicate and talk to the BEB family because I've created that platform. And so that's something that's super important, guys, in terms of not leaving money on the table. All right. That's number 5. So how much money are you leaving on the table? 9 questions to ask yourself. Number 6, can I raise my prices? So you want to not leave money on the table? You can possibly raise your prices. Once again, the answer is yes if your positioning, your product and perception and everything in your pricing are all aligned. So see question number 4. So another way not to leave money on the table is to raise your prices. See question number 4, am I pricing my products or services correctly? All right, number 7, can I reduce expenses? In order to not leave money on the table and be more profitable, if you can reduce your expenses, then obviously you're not going to leave any money on the table. Now, there's always going to be expenses in running businesses, but here's some of the things that you might want to look at. All right. Number 1, your software. Can you make a reduction in your software? Now, it's funny. I spend probably close to $2,000 a month in software, and I actually cut my software back, which is crazy. So all of the platforms I created, Be Smart, Buy Black, Hire Black freelancers, all my online courses with Thinkific, I use Drop Funnels, I use all lead pages, I use tons of software. I tried to consolidate and I did, so I saved a little bit of money right there. Another thing you want to look at, office space. So a lot of people are working remotely right now. Do you need the office space? Employees. Do you need employees right now, or can you use subcontractors? You know, a lot of times, and you'll see this in grocery stores, there's automation that's taken over for employees. I have a supermarket near me that literally doesn't have anybody checking people out. All of the lines, they just converted to self-checkout. It's slow as hell in there, but they're saving money on employees. Okay. Also, can you automate your business to reduce the cost, your overhead costs? So instead of you, and be more efficient. So instead of you packing up the products that you're selling when you sell them, you automate that. It may cost you a little, but in the long run, is it smarter? Is it more economical for you to outsource some of that stuff? Because the time that you spend doing that, you could be doing something else to leverage your business. So that's number 7. Can you reduce expenses? Number 8, can I sell more units? So it could be physical products units, digital product units, or do more of your services if you're selling services. So think about other businesses that you could collaborate with, right? Is there a way to collaborate with other businesses that you have a synergy with to help you sell more units? Have you ever thought about an affiliate program that you create to help move more units? Also, how about automation? Can you leverage automation to help you move more units or sell more products? Okay. Also, guys, one thing I always talk about in my coaching is customizing your sales pitch to sell to different verticals. So when you want to sell more units, you need to speak to the specific verticals. And I always use the example of insoles, right? So if I'm selling insoles, I can sell insoles specifically for waiters and waitresses. They're on their feet all the time, right? But I need to speak their language. I need to identify their problem. I know that my insoles are the solution, but what does that mean to that waiter? You can do your job more comfortably. You'll have a smile on your face because your feet aren't hurting. And what that means is you'll make more tips because you're friendlier. Now, I'm just making this up as I go along, but you guys understand what I'm saying. Now I'm speaking directly to that waiter. Now I can sell those same insoles for runners, but I need to talk to those runners specifically and speak their language, right? So if you have, if your feet are hurting when you're running, that's the problem. The new J. Jones insoles are the solution. What does that mean? That means now you can enjoy your running like you used to. You can increase your time. You can do this. And so once again, I'm speaking that language, same product, but being able to talk specifically to a different market. All right. How about field hockey? I told you guys my girls used to play field hockey. My youngest daughter had to wear insoles because of her feet. She played field hockey, soccer, and all kind of other sports and stuff. So, but I need to speak directly to them. So I'm not talking about sports insoles. I'm talking about field hockey insoles. I want to speak specifically to the field hockey players and what their problems and concerns are. Now, those same insoles I can sell to soccer players, but what do I have to do? I have to speak specifically to them, their concerns, their problems, how these insoles can solve their problems. So a lot of times you can sell more units by tailoring or customizing your message, not changing the product. Change your message to who you're sending it to. So speak specifically to something, and you'll be surprised how in this example, I would get more penetration selling specifically to certain verticals than I would generically. Even if I'm looking at the sports vertical, these are sports insoles. No, they're not. These are field hockey insoles for the field hockey players. They're soccer insoles for the soccer players. They're football insoles for the football players. They're track insoles for the track runners. That's how you can help increase your sales. Can you sell more units or product or whatever you're selling? Products, services, whatever. Digital, physical products, or your services. You need to be specific. And that's number 8. Can I sell more units? And last and definitely not least, number 9. Am I investing in myself to improve my business? Now, I always say, guys, if you're not going forward, you're going backwards. There's no such thing as standing still. Okay, it's like you're in the stream. You got to be going forward, because if you're not doing anything, elevating your entrepreneur IQ, then you're going backwards. Everybody else is moving forward. Well, everybody else that's serious about their business and wants to be successful is moving forward. They're educating themselves. So it doesn't matter if it's an online course, a webinar, a workshop, whatever it is, trainings, masterclasses, anything that you need to do to elevate your entrepreneur IQ. If you're serious about your business, be serious about educating yourself and improving and investing in yourself. I'm telling you, I do it. I spend thousands of dollars a year investing in myself. You know what I do a lot of times that's free? And you have to remember the source, though. A lot of times when I go to sleep, I'll listen to podcasts. I'll listen to or watch. A lot of times I won't watch it. I'll turn on a YouTube video if it's something I want to learn about. But I'll do that a lot of times before I go to sleep, which I know isn't good for my sleep because it gets that mind turning. But literally, guys, you got to invest in yourself. The only way you get better at something is by doing it all the time. And sometimes you need help to do it. You can't do it all by yourself. So you need to learn from people that have experience doing what you want to do, right? So if you want to be a podcaster, a successful podcaster, then you want to learn from somebody that has a successful podcast, right? Just makes common sense. So don't sleep on that. Before we get to the last quarter of the show, guys, I just want to share all my social media contact information and my resource links. Once again, guys, everything is on the website, blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Please, we've updated the website. We want it to be the resource for Black entrepreneurs. Go to the website, hit the Learn tab. And on that Learn tab, you'll see many different things you can learn. E-commerce, marketing, financing, scaling your business, side hustles, mindset and strategy. Go to blackentrepreneurblueprint.com and hit the Learn tab. So all the online courses are there. Everything I talk about, I'm getting ready to talk about rather, is going to be there. First and foremost, once again, my new book is out, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. If you want to build a successful, sustainable e-commerce business, go to anewblackwallstreet.com. Pick yourself up a copy, $14.95 print version, $9.95 digital version. And once again, that's on the site. If you need additional assistance building that e-commerce business, pound for pound, the best course out there on the market, Brand Builder Academy Elite. Go to bbaelite.com, a 15-week implementation program taking you from product ideation all the way to selling your physical or digital product online. But it's creating a brand, and it doesn't matter if it's a physical product or a digital product. Now, at the top of the show, I also mentioned 2 platforms I created to help circulate dollars in the worldwide Black community. The first one is BeSmartByBlack.com. If you are a Black product producer and you want to sell your product to Black consumers, upload your product information for free to BeSmartByBlack.com and connect with Black consumers that are looking to purchase Black-owned products. Now, I didn't forget you freelancers. If you do anything on Fiverr.com or Freelancer.com, go to HireBlackFreelancers.com, HIRE, BlackFreelancers.com. Upload your information and connect with Black businesses and Black consumers that want to hire Black freelancers. And once again, it is also free. So make sure you check that out. Also, I mentioned at the top of the show, my new rebranded, rebooted BEBacademy.com. I just talked about elevating your entrepreneur IQ and investing in yourself. You get 3 days free access to BEB Academy. We have all types of online courses, workshops, trainings, tutorials to help elevate your entrepreneur IQ. Get 3 days free access, BEBacademy.com. Now, once again, everything I just talked about is on blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com. You can take the shortcut and go to BEBconnect.com, which will take you to the same website. Now, in terms of connecting with me, guys, anything long, hit me on my email, jjones@blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com, JAYJONES @blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com, Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, Twitter, JJones001, that's JAYJONES001. Instagram, I got 2 IG accounts, guys. The first one is JJones for real, JAYJONES, the number 4, REAL. The second one is Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. YouTube, guys, make sure you hit and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I have additional content on YouTube that is not on the podcast. And yes, the podcast does come out on YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Also, LinkedIn, connect with me there. J Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. And last but not least, if you're on Clubhouse, connect with me at I Am J Jones. Also, I wanted to remind you about my companion podcast, Ask J Live. You can go to AskJLive.com or, once again, BlackEntrepreneurBlueprint.com. Now, this is a live podcast on the call-in app, so you can actually connect with me. It's like Clubhouse on steroids. Now, the beautiful thing, guys, it's actually now for iOS and also Android. So you can get the show there. And it's also on iTunes and Spotify. It just actually is now going to iTunes and Spotify. So you can go search Ask J Live. This comes out every Tuesday, 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, where you get an opportunity to connect with me live. I'll talk about a subject. Then you guys can ask me a question about my business, your business, or entrepreneurship in general. AskJLive.com. Once again, it is on the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint website. And the last thing I do want to mention, guys, if you want to partner with Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, you see we're doing advertising now, and we'd love to have you on the platform. So just go to the website and you can hit the advertising link and you can leave some information. And we've made it affordable for all sizes of business, be it solopreneurs up to major corporations. So make sure if you're interested in partnering with us that you do that. And let's get ready to close out the show, guys. One of the things I wanted to talk about was in terms of how much money are you leaving on the table, 9 questions to ask yourself. Be cognizant of your product, your pricing, and your perception. And I gave you guys a couple of links of other show episodes that talk about that in detail, because that's really where you're going to be leaving money on the table. When those things are not aligned, then you're going to be leaving a ton of money on the table. Or if you have what they call the Imposter Syndrome. You know, it's funny. One of my mentors tells me all the time, I'm underpricing my stuff. But what I had to explain to him was my objective is not just to make money. Yeah, I'm in business to make money. We all are. But I want to make it affordable for people that are serious about leveling up their entrepreneur IQ. And so the majority of my revenues or incomes doesn't come from the podcast. It comes from my brands and all my other stuff, my physical products and all my other stuff that I do, my teaching, my books and all of that good stuff. But so you have to make sure that you're pricing it right, because what the price tells people is one or two things. And I use the example of the Timex watch and the Rolex watch. If they're not aligned right, people aren't going to buy them. So once again, if I had a Rolex that I was selling for $500 in a jewelry store, people wouldn't buy it because it doesn't align with the perception of the product, right? The pricing doesn't align. And so be cognizant of that. And that's where a lot of people are leaving tons of money on the table. And it can work, the reverse way. You may think you got a great product, but your perception and your pricing are wrong. All right. Or you may have a tremendous product and you're downplaying your perception and your pricing. So it can work either way, but make sure you guys sign up for the show notes. And so that way you can get all the links to the additional shows and everything I talked about in today's episode and any episode. Now, before we close it on out, guys, please do not forget, if you are in the LA area or you want to venture out to LA, BEB Live in LA, Saturday, April 9th, guys. I'm telling you, we're going to have a ball out there with my man, Melvin Graham. He is the producer of the new documentary Black Business LA, which is going to be released on Amazon Prime in the upcoming weeks. And we're going to have a ball out there. We're going to interview Melvin live in the audience. We're going to have a live audience out there. You guys will be able to ask Melvin questions after the interview on the Q&A. You'll be able to ask me questions, and we're going to have a good time. Then we're even going to do the meet and greet, and this is totally free, guys. So we're going to have beer, alcohol, wine, whatever, food, and we're going to have a meet and greet. We're going to chop it up, and we're going to have a good time. Once again, go to beblive.com. The seats are limited. It's free, but they are limited. First come, first serve. So all you have to do is register online. It's an Eventbrite website, but go to beblive.com and that'll take you right there. Now, before we close it on out, guys, I say this each and every week, and I mean it. We get more and more downloads because of you, the BEB family. I couldn't do it without you guys. I love you and I appreciate you so much. That's why I'm looking forward to meeting the BEB family from LA out there on Saturday, April 9th from 1 to 4. I'm super excited about that. But please continue to spread the word about the podcast, the whole ecosystem, the new website, blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com, which should be the resource for Black entrepreneurs. We're continuing to build that out. Once again, it ain't about me, guys. It ain't about you. It's about us. It's about building an economic power base in the worldwide Black community. Love you guys. See you same time next week. Peace.